Let's go over the rapid sequence intubation medications that you're expected to see in the ER. So know that it's sedative before paralytic always. The main sedative that is going to be used is etomidate, while the two main paralytics are going to be rocuronium and succinylcholine. Again, the main thing sedative before paralytic always. So the main sedative is going to be etomidate. It's the primary sedative because it's hemodynamically stable and it has a fast onset. So it's not going to lower the blood pressure or increase the heart rate. The onset is 10 to 30 seconds and duration of up to 10 minutes. The common dosing that you may see ordered by the providers is zero point 0.3 milligrams per kilogram. The main side effects, of course, are going to be respiratory depression, but this is fine because the patient is going to get intubated. And just know that it can cause myoclonus, but it is self limiting. It's just nice to know about it. Now, for the paralytics, the first one we're going to talk about is succinylcholine. It's the paralytic commonly used as it works fast and doesn't last long. We know that in rapid sequence intubation, when a patient needs to be intubated, it needs to happen in a safe and yet rapid manner. So a paralytic that works fast is ideal. If the intubation is unsuccessful and or there are complications, it's beneficial that it wears off fast so that the patient can regain their ability to breathe on their own, which reduces potential prolonged hypoxia and gives the team time to come up with alternative techniques, right? Now, the onset is 30 to 60 seconds, duration of up to 10 minutes, and the typical dosing that you may see for succinylcholine is 1.5 milligrams per kilogram. Now, the main side effect that you need to be aware of is that it can cause hyperkalemia. So, succinylcholine is avoided in renal patients, burn patients, crush injuries, rhabdomyolysis, and any concern where hyperkalemia would be an issue. Know that it also can cause malignant hypertension as well. Now, the next key paralytic that is often used is rocuronium. It's the paralytic used when succinylcholine is not ideal. Although it typically doesn't have any contraindications like such, it's not primarily used due to its longer onset and duration. The onset is 2 minutes, duration of up to 60 minutes. The typical dosing is 1 milligram per kilogram. Now, for the main side effects, we know that there's no major contraindication, but because it does last a long time, you have to be mindful of knowing how to handle unsuccessful intubations. For example, the providers keep trying, and they're unable to intubate. This paralytic is going to last up to an hour, so you have to be ready to manage that. If needed, though, it does have a reversal agent. This is the name for it, sugamatics. Now, we said that the main sedative is going to be etomidate, but sometimes the providers may go with other sedatives, like, for example, ketamine. Although ketamine is not commonly used for sedation for intubation, it still has important uses, specifically because with ketamine, the patient can maintain their own respiratory drive. It has bronchodilatory effects. It can help with increasing the heart rate and the blood pressure, and it does have analgesic properties. Therefore, it's going to be a good option for asthmatic intubations or COPD intubations, and it's also useful when the patients are very hypotensive. Now, the onset is 30 to 60 seconds, duration is 10 to 20 minutes, and the typical dosing that you may see for rapid sequence intubation is 1.5 milligrams per kilogram. Now, one of the key considerations that you should be mindful when it comes to ketamine is that it does come with the rare risk of laryngeal spasms, increased cerebral edema, and it can also lead to an increased heart rate, further placing strain on a weakened heart. So the providers are keeping these considerations in mind. And again, that's why they typically end up going with etomidate.